They claim that Startpage does not share any personal information with any third-party search engine or the provider of its sponsored results. Startpage only shares personal information with third parties obligated to do so by law, official court order, subpoena, or to protect against the imminent harm to the rights, property, or safety of Startpage, its users, or the general public as required by law. So basically what I got from this search engine was that they're like, want to make the users feel like that they care about them and that they care about their safety and that they just want to be a search engine. They don't want to take their information. And Startpage collects limited information each time you visit their site, just so that they can improve the overall quality of your online experience. They only collect browser and platform type and register the date and time you visited the startpage.com site. And these are just some Chinese privacy internet laws. E-commerce and online activity is developing extremely rapidly in China. Over 300 million internet users as of June 1st, 2008. They lack major protection and data protection laws. On October 8, 2000, Regulation on Management of the Administration of Internet Electronic Messaging Services, issued by the Ministry of Information Industry. This led many Chinese website operators to impose privacy policies on their sites because the Chinese government started to become a lot more strict about it. But it still depends on whether the websites want to opt into these privacy policies. It's still like, there's still a lot of work to be done in China and their privacy laws. They're drafting a new civil code which states that natural persons enjoy privacy. Privacy is constituted by personal data, personal activities, and personal space. Collection, saving, and publication of personal data shall be consented to by the data subject in all cases. So, I mean, I think that they're starting to realize that people do want privacy, so they're starting to come up with laws. This is a case of Travis Allen Davis in Delmont, Pennsylvania. He had already been charged with breaking into his ex-girlfriend's house, handcuffing her, and raping her. And then he was also accused of stalking a different ex-girlfriend. He made a fake Facebook of the first girlfriend that he raped, and he started messaging the girl and was basically saying, like, if she didn't move back to his home in Indiana and pretend to be with him, that this other ex-girlfriend was gonna post like explicit pictures of them together. So then he began to sleep outside of the woman's home in Pennsylvania, and the police found him with a gun and a box cutter. So he was charged with stalking, transmitting obscene images, loitering, and criminal coercion. So I mean, this just goes to show you anybody can make a Facebook and put up pictures and sleep outside your house with a gun and a box cutter. The S effect, this is the Streisand effect. It's an internet-based sensation where a certain concept goes viral. It started with Barbra Streisand's house. Somebody took a picture of her home, put it on the internet. She wanted it taken down, flipped out, and then that just made it even more viral. People started Googling it, like looking at it. So basically, like the censorship whole idea of it makes people want to look at it more. And an example of this I found, in Germany, you can opt out of the Google Maps, like of your house being viewed. So what they do is like when you look at the aerial view, like your house will be blurred. But people were going to those homes of the people who opted out and were like egging their homes and writing like Google's cool and like, so basically it was like the opposite effect there. Like they view people who want privacy as like being like wrong and like, why do you want privacy? Which is like a lot different than here. Like everybody's afraid, and like if somebody opted out of that, nobody would go to their house and like pelt it with eggs or anything. This is another example. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about this. The dog poop girl. Her dog took a shit on the train and she refused to clean it up. So somebody snapped a picture of her. and put it up and upload it on a blog. But the thing with this was a lot of her personal information was exposed, information about her family, and because of it, she ended up dropping out of school. And there were a lot of mixed emotions because some people were like, well, she deserves this. Like, her dog took a poop on the train, she didn't clean it up, like she was in a public place. But a lot of people thought that, okay, they took it a step too far, like they shouldn't have put information about her family and stuff. So that shows how, although like she was in public, and yeah, the picture, like that's fine, they took a picture, is that invading her privacy, like putting information up about her family members? And Google baggage, this kind of shows how like stuff you do will follow you around because your privacy isn't really protected. A man named Michael was in prison when he was juvenile, and he wrote articles in a specialized journal while he was in prison. And every time you Google his name, I don't know his last name, so I couldn't find him, but the first things that apparently come up on Google are that he was in prison. So whenever he's out with people and like they have like a disagreement, he's always thinking, oh my God, is it because they know that I was in prison? And so this is kind of like a form of his digital identity, which is now like with him forever because privacy is like so little on the internet. And this is just a quote. From the dawn of time, people have gossiped, circulated rumors, and shamed others. These social practices are now moving over to the internet, where they are taking on new dimensions. They transform from forgettable whispers within small local groups to a widespread and permanent chronicle of people's lives. An entire generation is growing up in a very different world, one where people will accumulate detailed records beginning with childhood that will stay with them for life wherever they go. So that, I think that quote just kind of, especially like our generation, that we've pretty much grown up with internet, how so much of our information is online now, and I mean, how, like, where do we even begin to get that offline? It's kind of the question I have.
Brad loves to keep me on my toes. I've sent him tons of texts tonight and he hasn't responded. I know he's home. But with unlimited data and web on my Android-powered phone from Virgin Mobile, I've got tons to do while I wait. Cruise the Slipper Stream, checking on Foursquare. Oh my gosh, I'm here in Brad's closet. It's only $25 a month. That's crazy, right?
Okay, so most of you have Facebook, and if you don't, you know about Facebook. So Facebook's all in advertising. You know when you go on, there's always a sidebar, and there's always advertising, and it says, like, oh, Nadia joined, or Nadia likes Oakland A's go buy their hat, or something. And so Beacon was a system that traded information to other information sites about Facebook users' information. And their programming advertisement went into a class action lawsuit because they breached privacy. So is your data saved? And even if your account has been terminated, it's still there. And I actually tried the other day to deactivate it and then came back to see if it was still all there. And it is. And then I got emails from Facebook being like, oh, you've been tagged in this photo. But then I realized I had to go back to my privacy settings and redo it all, because they pretty much like reset the thing when I deactivated. So if I didn't realize, I could have, my thing went all to like, everyone can see, not just friends.